Now to the tragedy in Tucson. Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords keeps making astounding progress. She's now able to stand up and look out the window of her hospital room. She's doing so well, she's expected to go to rehab tomorrow. This as her alleged attacker, Jared Loughner, faces new federal charges. CBS News national correspondent Ben Tracy is in Tucson for us this morning with the very latest. Ben, good morning.
Good morning, Chris. You know, I don't think anybody here at the medical center in Tucson or perhaps the entire country thought it possible that the Congresswoman could get out of the hospital less than 2 weeks after being shot in the head. But as you mentioned, she is planning to move on Friday. Meanwhile, the charges against the shooter are also moving ahead.
Jared Loughner is now indicted on 3 federal counts of attempted assassination and attempted murder. If convicted, he could face life in prison. Prosecutors may also seek federal murder charges carrying the death penalty. Detectives say Loughner's cold-blooded killing of 6 people was caught on security cameras. Sheriff's Deputy Rick Castiger has seen the tape.
He walks immediately up to Congresswoman Giffords and within perhaps 2 to 3 feet fires 1 bullet right at her forehead.
Amazingly, after less than 2 weeks in the hospital, Giffords is set to be released Friday and flown to this rehabilitation center in Houston. Her recovery hit a new milestone on Wednesday.
We stood her up. She was able to stand on her own with assistance. We were able to put her in a chair. We put her in front of the window so she could see the mountains.
Moments like that are why doctors say they are not pushing her too far too fast.
No one's trying to get her to rehab just because of who she is. We're giving her the same care we would give anyone else.
The care in Houston is considered some of the best, with military surgeons specializing in bullet wounds to the head. In a statement, Giffords' husband Mark Kelly said, quote, "It has a national reputation for treating serious penetrating brain injuries and is also in a community where I have family and a strong support network." At Giffords' office, they are responding to hundreds of get well cards and carrying on her work.
We are really sincerely convinced that the Congresswoman is going to be back in no time at all.
Now, one of the Congresswoman's doctors from Tucson here will actually travel with her to Houston and hand her off to a surgeon there. And while her doctors and her family are all very optimistic, they also know that this rehabilitation is likely going to be long and quite difficult. Chris?
Ben, what was the reasoning behind choosing Memorial Hermann Hospital in Houston?
Well, first and foremost, they say it's the place she can get the best care, but there's also a personal reason. Her husband, Mark Kelly, as we've mentioned, is an astronaut who's actually training to be the commander of the next space shuttle mission, and he's doing that training in Houston. So whether or not he actually goes through with the mission, he'll be able to continue his training there at the NASA Space Center. Chris?
All right, Ben Tracy for us in Tucson this morning. Ben, thank you.